La prima domanda è ovviamente su Il Trono di Spade. Il tuo personaggio, Bronn, è ormai diviso tra un ordine dato da Cersei, il denaro e ovviamente i sentimenti verso i due fratelli Lannister. Sappiamo che non puoi anticipare nulla, ma ti va di raccontare qual è stata la tua reazione quando hai letto la sceneggiatura e quindi hai saputo come andrà a finire tra Bronn e i fratelli Lannister?
Do you mean what is my reaction to what happens between me and the brothers? That's a very clever way of trying to find out some stuff you're not allowed to find out yet. Yeah. So I can't share my reaction totally of what happens between Bronn and the brothers. I mean, Bronn's he's a determined boy. You know, he's got his heart set on his castle, and he wants payback. He's been saying it for years. He's not got quite the payback he's been asking for. Jamie is his employer, and he's just gone. He didn't send him a text, not even a WhatsApp. And so he's a bit miffed about that, Bronn is. And he's been given a crossbow, as we see, you know, and there's a big offer on the table from the big bad sister, which is tempting Bronn, obviously, because he can see she's almost, I don't know what it is, but she's kind of doubled the offer. There's a lot of riches there. So it's an interesting dilemma from two people he's got close to. You know, what's he going to do?
Ti manca il set e i colleghi di Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I really do. It was a special time. We were all, it was, you know, we were all celebrating as we went and celebrating each other and being involved in something so incredible as Game of Thrones. Traveling the world with it and going to these amazing places. We had an amazing time. And that's acting as well. You do a job for 3 or 4 months this time, or 3 or 4 years. This time it was 8 years. It's the longest job I've ever been involved with. And you get close. It's like a family. So we've had to split up, but you stay close to the ones that you want to. So I'm grateful.
Sarai una delle star dello show La Torre Nera. Ci puoi dire di più del tuo personaggio e se sei fan di Stephen King, a breve uscirà anche un nuovo adattamento cinematografico tratto dal romanzo Pet Sematary. Tu andrai a vedere questo film?
Pet Cemetery,
Yes, it's a new film.
Stephen King film.
Yes.
Okay. I haven't heard about Pet Sematary, so I might check that out. The amazing thing about Stephen King is there's so many genres he writes in. I mean, he's the most prolific writer. And I haven't, but I think he wrote one called The Rats, like years ago, and I read that and was completely gripped. I was a young boy. But I've just not been reading enough recently. So I've not read any more of his books, and I think some of the adaptations of his films are great. He's so prolific. This story it's 8 books, I think, and it's a hugely epic, sprawling. There's all sorts of, it's a metaphoric world, and it's based in the future, very far in the future. But it's interesting because it's so far in the future. It's like discovering, after the kind of Armageddon has hit or something's hit. It's very interesting to see how human culture is reforming and almost kind of going back to something almost medieval and Arthurian, if you like. And my character is quite an Arthurian character. He's the father of the main young hero. And the equivalent of the Arthur's Round Table, they're all gunslingers, and I'm kind of the king of the gunslingers trying to hold peace in this realm called Gilead. And there are forces threatening that peace and the kind of seat of power that he's holding. But I like the character because he's not your typical kind of like a Game of Thrones character that's fighting for power in that way. I think there's an honor to the gunslingers, and they only use their guns if they absolutely have to. They're not kind of very loose with them. But it's going to be very interesting, because the film didn't quite manage to grab people's attention or honour the books in a way I think that probably everybody would have liked them to be honoured. And I think the series, they've got the time to be very true, much more true to the books, but throw their own slant on it. So I'm hopeful it's going to be something that people will really enjoy.